Zimbabweans living in South Africa who would like to return home will be assisted by the government. Ambassador to South Africa, David Hamadziripi, says all they have to do is apply through the embassy. The move was prompted by reports that some of the citizens from that country are struggling under the nationwide lockdown currently in South Africa. Well, to discuss this, I'm now joined via Skype by Kennedy Mandaza, speaking on behalf of ZANU-PF party here in South Africa. Mr. Mandaza, very good morning. Thanks very much for joining us on this Sunday morning. Do you have an idea how big is the request? How many Zimbabweans who are in the country want to go back home?
Good morning. I'm not really so sure of the actual figures, but what we are aware of is that there are a number of Zimbabweans that have expressed the interest to go home because of the uncertainties resulting from the COVID-19 pandemic and the extension of the lockdown, which have now brought untold suffering to the majority of Zimbabweans who ordinarily work in the informal sector and restaurants which are currently closed.
Okay, so the High Commission of Zimbabwe, and we've heard that the High Commissioner David Hamadziripi has said that they can apply those who want to go back home. Are you aware how that process would work?
Yes, I'm aware of the process. What Zimbabweans are supposed to do is that they are supposed to go through a link which have been provided and circulated via a number of social media platforms, and we have been assisting people to make sure that they get this particular link on which they are supposed to fill in all the details that are requested by the embassy, including the type of help or assistance that they need, because there is on the link two options, one of which is people who would want to receive food parcels, and the other one, those who would want to be repatriated home. But what in our engagement with the embassy and the consulate, we have heard that the form of assistance which is a possibility for Zimbabweans is their repatriation, because they can engage partners that can assist them.
Okay, now to repatriate any number of people, as we've seen recently when some foreign nationals in South Africa were repatriated back to their countries such as Brazil, Germany and England, it's a huge process. Besides just the logistics of it, you have to take into account the fact that we are in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, so there are some health risks involved. From your information as a ZANU-PF, are you comfortable that the High Commissioner and those who will be supporting you will take all the necessary precautions to make sure that the lives of those Zimbabweans who will be heading back home are protected?
We are quite confident that the embassy, which represents the Zimbabwean government here in South Africa, working with the South African government and its partners, will undertake all the necessary steps to make sure that those Zimbabweans that would want to be repatriated can get to Zimbabwe safely. And we are aware also that upon crossing the border into Zimbabwe, they will be quarantined for a period of 21 days to make sure that they are screened and tested in case there are those who might have been repatriated and have already been affected by the virus. So the process, we think that it is a clean process and can be followed through and ensure that Zimbabweans that need to be back home get there safely.
Thank you very much. That's Kennedy Mandaza speaking on behalf of the ZANU-PF party here in South Africa.